Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Chrono. Last time, we made our way to Gaia's Navel for the first time in the game. Explored around here, defeated a bunch of enemies, and ran into the Isla clone that is Leah. Or Lee. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce her name. Regardless, we defeated a bunch of enemies, took out a giant Tyrannosaur, and now that music tells you we're about to come face to face with a rather large dragon. Before we do that, there's a fun strategy to be had here, and it makes use of the Greater Pendragon Sigil. It's an item that I've basically ignored up until now, because other than this one niche case, it's really hard to make proper use of, but I'm going to try and explain it once we actually get into the fight. I was considering doing this kind of the normal way without the Mastermune, but the strategy is too fun to not show off, so we got to do this. Ooga booga! Didn't know he was here. Yeah, that's a big dragon. What is all this commotion? He looks half asleep in the portrait there. Well, the barrier has been broken. We're now able to go over here. And approach the green dragon directly, and he's hungry. Well, if I just wake up, I'm usually pretty hungry too. Fair enough. Let's beat his ass so that he doesn't feed on us. Now, there's a couple of notes to kind of go into to explain how certain things work. I haven't talked about it so far because it almost never has any bearing on things, but the field effect is set. Whenever you get into a battle on specific screens, it's always set. It will always be the same. Now that specific field effect might change depending on what screen you're on, but it's generally similar, if not the same, all throughout an area. So in this particular screen, we're always going to start off with the right two being green, and I believe the left one being white, though for purposes here, that doesn't matter at all. So the way that this is going to work, I'm just going to show off the strategy, and we're going to annihilate him, and then we'll move on. So first things first, we want to completely fill the field effect and cast Eagle Eye. Then we want to take a couple of quick pot shots at him, or one. And what that's going to do is, because the field effect is all green, it's going to force him to counterattack with Carnivore. Now, what the Pendragon Sigil does is it applies, as you can see in the corner of Lynx's portrait there, it applies the element used to his weapon, basically equating a turn color effect. However, there is a hidden value that it also bumps your physical attack power by, depending, based on little bits that I've been able to read, depending on the level of the element. In the case of Carnivore, that's a level 5 element. The difference between a lesser and a greater Pendragon Sigil isn't particularly clear, nor is the amount of strength boost been revealed in anywhere that I've been able to look. Very few people seem to know anything about this. The only reason I know how it basically works is from a couple of random posts scheduled, scattered around the web, and the speed run for this game, which uses this particular strategy. They do it a lot faster because they don't talk. But yeah, so we've done that here. Our next move is going to be to set up Strengthen. So we're going to strengthen our Lynx now. And our next move is, even though we've turned him green with Pendragon Sigil, we want to turn him back yellow, and I hope I remember to equip Turn Yellow on somebody. Sadly, I don't... Where is it? It's got to be here somewhere. Wow, would you look at that? That's how far out Norris was. He still didn't get a turn. Alright, one more. There we go. Now, I should have what I'm looking for on him somewhere. If not, I'm going to restart this battle. And I'm going to restart this battle. Okay, we got back to the exact same place that we were just at because somebody forgot to turn yellow on someone who wasn't Lynx. I don't know why, but my brain doesn't function. So the idea here is that turning him green also applies that strength boost. But the boss is green, so we want to turn him yellow in order to get as much damage as we can of it. So strengthen, Mastermune. We also took our helmet off, if you notice, so I have a Dragoon Gauntlet and a Power Seal equipped for maximum damage. Strengthen, Pendragon Sigil, level 5 element. Let's see how much damage we can actually get out of this. It's a mere 1400 damage. And this guy's already on his healing tax. And he's already sagging, as you can see there. Whether it's obvious that he's sagging or not, his animation has changed. I know he's been in the battle for so short a time, it's hard to tell. But the way this guy works, if you're interested in fighting him normally and not cheesing your way through it, is he'll use Bad Breath or Green Field, set up for Toxic Breath, and when he's got the field effect full, he'll use Carnivore. He uses Heal Plus when he's low, and if you're wondering what Bad Breath does, the game is made by Square, so you can probably figure out what it does. In this case, it does Darkness, Anti-Yellow, and Fatigued, oddly enough. Not sure why it doesn't also do Poisoned and other things, but its Toxic Breath will do the Poison, if you're interested in that. It doesn't do a lot of physical attacks, because I guess he's lazy from sleeping so long. But yeah, we stole the plate from him, and bye-bye. After the buffs, there's only 3 hits you need to finish him off. This is one of the points during the speed run that was really interesting to watch, because you go from, you know, early on, before you get the Mastermune, you take this detour in a speed run to do a side quest to pick up this weapon, and you make up most of the time in this one boss fight. Ew, no strength, no nothing. Fargo got strength, which is good. Norris didn't, not quite so good. Genie is the level 8 green summon element. If you're fighting it normally, remove your heal alls and replace them with recover alls. Obviously, you don't want to be filling the field effect for them. As long as you can keep the field effect away from being all green, you shouldn't have too much issue with this fight. You don't have to worry about physicals. You can cast Diminish if you're worried. It's more so the status effects that you have to worry about. So anti-yellow, there was an enemy earlier on in here called Prehistoric that you could steal an Earth Charm from. That protects you against anti-yellow. So you can just grab those if you're interested in doing that. But we got our green relic and the dragon disappears. Most of the dragons don't disappear. Yeah, it's pretty much our job at this point, fighting dragons. Looks fun. She's gonna decide to come with us. Maybe we'll find your... Decide, return to village. She officially joined your party. Yeah, she was temporary before. But yeah, she does join officially there. She's not the greatest, but she's not terrible either. She's a fun character as a callback. Not my favorite character in the game. Not my least favorite either. If we didn't have Norris, she would probably be my choice. Zoa has a lot of strength and a lot of defense. Hell, he actually has a magic stat this time? What is going on with this file? This file is just nuts. He has no agility, which is a fade, which doesn't matter. He's actually really good in this file. Go figure. Can't believe Zoa has one of my best magic stats. That is sad. Like, look at the amount of physical attack power Marcy has. She's supposed to be more so a maid than a physical attacker. It's just insane. But yeah, if we didn't have Norris, we would potentially use her. Alright, let us heal those. You could equip antitoxinal caps if you want to avoid the status effects. The only reason I really picked them up is so I didn't have to heal in between fights, because that's tedious. As far as needing them in the boss fight, not so much. She talked about going back to the village, but the village isn't available in this game. And when you want to leave, you just need to use the ancient, or not the ancient fruit, my brain does not function, Biba fruit. And the guy here will pick us up. And we fly away. Now, normally I would cut back all of the backtracking out, but there's one thing I want to do on the way, and us getting dropped off here does reveal the reason why I want to pick something up on the way. You used up the ancient fruit. Now, since it's all used up, you might think we're permanently locked out of the area, but we're not. There's no reason to go back there in this world. All you have to do is approach this guy, ask about the ancient fruit. He has plenty, and you get another one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to another world. We're going to basically do the same process here, get on the Wingipede, and go back over to Gaia's Navel in another world. For the most part, there's very little reason to go there. But in the sake of showing everything, there is a frame there. So we're going to go get that. Okay, on the way back here, as you can see, there is a little bit of a scene. This is in another world. And these two are attacking the Biba. So we might as well help them out. We'd be finishing them off later, huh? Well, you're not going to be alive for very long, so I doubt that's going to happen. As far as I know, these guys are just as weak as the normal enemies around here, which means you poke them and they fall down. Unless I somehow miss. So, there's that. Jumped from fighting him. And now we get to deal with more Biba nonsense. It is ancient fruit. Yeah, you can also pick one up here if you want. You already have it. No business of mine. The fruit tastes good. If you run out, don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, so you could have gotten it here if you wanted to, but I guess it adds a little bit extra to the scene there, showing them that you already have one. And all you have to do is climb right back over here, use the flute, get picked up, and go for the trip. Now, there are a total of 5 items in Gaia's Navel in another world, most of which are repeats, and I think the enemies are basically the same too. Was there an item up here? I'm trying to remember if there was or not. No, okay. I don't think there's anything else on the screen. I don't have a map for this screen because I don't even know, I think the walkthrough might mention it, like, as an offshoot later, and doesn't even talk about the enemies that are here or anything like that. So we're just going to pick up all the treasure here. Everything that's not a frame is a piece of Denoderite. We don't have any real reason to fight the monsters unless we run into them by accident. Okay, so we did what we needed to on that level. Now we gotta just pop back up here. I wasn't going to show most of this, but I do want to show actually getting to the item that we need. We're going to off fast forward so I can skip past you. I believe the item that we're looking for is not actually on screen, but is obtained after fighting this guy, which I believe is just another random group of prehistorics, and I don't have certain things equipped for this fight. That's kind of terrible, because they can do this, and this is bad. You didn't hit Lynx? Uh-oh. Don't hit Lynx! Well, you missed both, which is impressive. But yeah, let's get rid of those guys as soon as we can. We don't need to deal with that. If there might be another group of these guys sitting on top of a there you go. Sitting on top of a tree somewhere. If that's the case, that will also lead to a treasure. I think there might have been one more in this world. But if I remember correctly from my test run here, this is the one that leads to the additional frame. I'm going to cut the rest of this out since it's just me collecting the same treasure that we've already seen, and I will see you in a moment. And if you were wondering if you could make it over to the dragon in this world, the answer is no. Even, I believe, if you kill all the dudes, I don't think there's a Chrono or anything like that. So don't worry about that. We will just make our way back, and since we're in another world, there's a few other things we can do. What? Did you seriously take me while I was in the middle of transporting out of here? That's different. Can't even read my notes in peace. Well, there's my stat ups. We got crap for Lynx. Argo got good stuff, and Norris got crap. Yeah, in mid-flight. That's different. Okay, fun times. All right, we got that. So let's move on with the rest of the dragons here. I was thinking about doing one thing now, but I'm gonna hold off, and we're gonna go tackle the red dragon first. The red dragon is in Mount Pyre, as you might expect. But you might be thinking, we've already been here in another world here. We've already been all the way through here. And all we saw was that little tiny dragon. Oh, right, and that big giant thing in the ground. Okay, yeah, he's probably in here. Based on all the other dragons, I'm sure he's just over here a little bit. Now, you'll remember we froze this last time. However, this is a new section of the area that was blocked off before. Regardless of whether you froze the area or not, you can still traverse over here. This area, on the other hand, you cannot. We have to slowly walk uphill. As soon as we get here, we need to heal. So let's heal a little bit. And fight this guy. Now, one thing I am going to do here, we're in another world, but these are in a new area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Fargo see if they're a more powerful version. They're probably not more powerful versions. I was going to see if I could potentially steal one of the things I was looking for, but I have serious doubts. Seems that these guys are probably as weak as the first set. Yep. So they're not going to do anything. Even in the new area, they're still weak. I avoid fighting them most of the time, but figured I'd at least take a look and see if this is where my missing enemy that gives me easy access to red brooches is. Alright, so let's pick up a perfect Pendragon Sigil, or Pendragon Sigil A in the previous version. I thought I was a lot further along, but it doesn't matter because these guys are going to fall down in seconds. And I'm not as weak as I thought I'd be. Yay for easy enemies. And a Polte's Cap, if you didn't already have a whole bunch of them. At this point, you could freeze that if you really wanted to, but that's up to you. Whoa, hello, do not do that to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heal up, set up, and I will be right back. Okay, now for my setup here, I've decided to go the road of throwing on some extra blue elements, and we're going to play around with a variation on strategy here. We're going to use a lot of Fargo's elements because he's blue innate, and he has a bunch of them. And we're going to try a couple of things. I've got Diminish set up for later on, and I'm going to try something that I didn't try in my test run because I was just walking through with the Mastermune at this point. And to show that the bosses still fall down, even if I don't use it, I have removed it for this fight. Sadly, we lose a little bit of strength for that. The Power Seal, by the way, is just 5 flat points to attack. It is the best accessory that you can equip at this point for increasing your power. And a Dragoon Gauntlet, which is another 3, so that's a big boost. We're still going to do a lot of physical damage. We just aren't going to critical on every single hit and do, 1,000, 1,500 damage anymore. Anyway, I think we're all healed up, so let's go on in here. This gets us here. We saw the big massive dragon there. And there's not really anything else we can do around here. So let's approach the big guy and see what he wants. Hello? Hello? What about the little guy? Fire dragon? But I know it's you. Do you now? We're going to challenge him again? He's the red dragon. Now, in the original translation, I believe they translated his name as Fiery Dragon so that it wasn't obvious, and there was a little bit of a surprise. You were supposed to be led to the idea from, at least I was in my first playthrough, that the salamander, the big thing in the ground there, that was the big dragon. And then this guy was just a random little dragon. But apparently he's the red dragon. And that's a salamander, his pet. My chances aren't going to look so good, are they? Alright. We have round 2 against this little guy. First things first, we might as well build up some element power, I think, with everybody. For 1 damage? That's not what I expected. Go for Norris first. Oh my lord, the lag! Wow, frame rate drops to nothing! Wow! I did not expect this level of lag. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have called him tiny. Or little, or whatever the hell I called him. Yeah. Beefy Red Dragon is here. If you try and steal from his little form, you will get a, where is it? A magic ring. That's not what we want. We want to be hit with Fire Breath right off the bat. Sounds about right. Now, Polte's caps would have been a good idea for this fight, especially since I'm prolonging it, but I neglected to put them on. Oh, that did a lot of damage. Pretty much any of his attacks can inflict burns, and as you can see, he does a boatload of damage. Diminish will be very effective in this fight eventually. I do want to steal items first. So let's go over here and grab that before I forget about it. There we go. There's the red plate. Now, he will counter every attack there, every blue element, with Fiery Breath. As you can see, Fiery Breath is his little form move. It does nothing, so we're not particularly worried about that. Let us start getting some things set up. We're going to Eagle Eye you. And get in a hit here. Don't want to do too much because I definitely need to heal Fargo before we go too much further. So we're going to straight up heal him with Cure Plus there. And what's your next move? Now, the Red Dragon has a specific set attack pattern, and as far as I know, based on the walkthroughs I've read, he doesn't vary from it. A lot of the other ones have little variations here and there where if you do this, they'll do this. He counters, and that's it. Other than that, his attack pattern is is Fire Breath, which he did on the first one, to 2 attacks, to Fire Breath again, to Inferno, to Strengthen, to 3 attacks after that Strengthen, to Brimstone. Now, Fire Breath we already saw, does lots of damage. Brimstone, I would suspect, does very much the same thing, except for stronger, because it also hits all allies and also inflicts burns like all of his attacks. So now we're going to deal with him doing physical attacks for a couple of rounds here. So what I want to do is get a couple of attacks in to get some element power back, and we are going to build up some things here to make our life a little easier. And turn blue on Lynx. We're going to get a couple of attacks in with Fargo here to build up to his maximum level there. And I don't want to attack him with any blue elements here. So I think we're stuck using Cure Plus again. I will also use this on Fargo, who has tons of HP at this point, which is probably good because otherwise he would die. He's going to use a physical attack, which I'm not worried about at all. And Frog Prince. Pretty much build up to that. Like, you could set up Magnify and all this stuff ahead of time. Basically, how I'm going to treat this fight is try not to be too overpowered and just kind of see how a normal-ish strategy. We get our stamina refresh there. His Fiery Breath counter is going to be hitting there. And what I want to do here, once he gets his next physical attack off, I'm going to hit him with something else here. Let's get Strengthen going on Lynx. And a couple more attacks here. So you can see we lose a lot of our power by not... I probably should have done more healing. I think Norris is dead. Never got that Recover All in there. Okay, we're good. That's fine. I thought he had another attack before he was going to do that, because my plan was to set up with Anti-Red. I don't know if it works against him, but I was going to try. It misses. I kind of figured, but I was going to kind of think about it. If it did work, it might be fun. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pop up Diminish. By the way, I've neglected to mention this. We've already killed 4 of these dragons, all the dragons absorb their own elements. If that wasn't already obvious, let's get a Cure All going here. Get as much healing as we can, since we kind of need it. And, like, I was going to try and use a lot of those blue attacking elements on this guy, but sadly, the time that I needed to use Diminish approached faster than I was hoping because nothing seems to work, and I'm gonna throw another Heal All up just to get ourselves up to full HP. So we've diminished him. He's gonna use Strength in here, and what I want to do is I want to get Weaken on as soon as he gets that off. As you can see, he's already sagging. Oh, he's not even going to get that. As soon as he gets Strengthen off, he's going to do 3 attacks, followed by Brimstone. But as you can see, it's not a huge amount to worry about. We stole our item. We're inflicted with burns, which will lower our physical defense. We'll miss a bunch of times. But yeah, like, as you can see, the Mastermune doesn't make the fight super easier. It just means I don't have to waste time healing, and the fight goes faster. So yeah, there's that. But I figured I'd show one fair fight against one of the dragons, and the red dragon happens to be one of the more powerful of the bunch. He's also the one with the set strategy, giving you the ability to kind of predict things and plan things out better. I also had no interest in any, there's no other fun strategies that I know of that I could show off in this fight, so really, nothing but crap for you now. Well, at least you got good stuff. And Salamander, the level 8 summon element. We'll meet again. We got the red relic. And feel those burns. And he fades into nothingness. And the dragon that was caught in the ground is no longer caught in the ground, nor is there a hole there. Strangely enough, the Dragon God's theme plays as you're leaving the area until you get back to the first screen, and then it changes to the normal theme. I don't know why this is, but fun times, I guess. Alright, and with that, I believe we've hit level 35? Yes, we have. At level 35, a number of our characters now have access to our level 7 techs automatically. In the case of Lynx, we have Forever Zero. All things become eternal nothingness. And speaking of level 7 techs, let's go and throw one onto you. It would have been faster if I had set things up by innate, but we'll throw Invincible on you. It's a Forbidden Death Blow. And you got your first level, let's see here. Where is it? There we go. You got your first level 7 spot, so we're just going to put Top Shot there. Fires Concentrated Ball of Aura Energy. I can throw a bunch of these on a bunch of different characters. I'm not going to do them all on screen, but suffice to say, we have one for Harsh that I can put on him, one for Zoa, one for Orcha, one for Janice, and one level 5 for a character we don't have, and one for Riddell. Power will recharge elements. Again, like Lena's earlier in the game, this only targets the self. So later on, when we get some other element, this could be beneficial, but probably not. By the time you've used your powerful elements that you would want to recharge, you usually have the fight over with anyway. With that said, oops, that's the wrong button. We have a bunch of relics now. Green, yellow, red, blue, black. This leaves one color remaining. Sky Dragon is all that remains, the one who saved us in the Deus Ex Machina. But should I go straight there, or is there a little bit of extra stuff that we can do before finishing up this quest? That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.